what does a presumptive condition look like? And does that mean you're out of luck if you can't file a presumptive, right? What is the difference between them and how does it work? So I'm going to give a quick overview, Clay, if you don't mind, and then I'm going to kick it over to you for some of your additional thoughts and to pick up any of the pieces that I happen to leave on the ground. So with that, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. Truly appreciate it. Helping this channel grow is really important for the community. At least we believe that that is the case. Having this dialogue type of format really helps cement some ideas that we have. So it's a good thing. So thank you guys so much for doing that. All right. So I think first what has to happen is we need to explain quickly what a regular type of a claim looks like, a standard claim with the VA in the fastest version for you, because that's not what this video is. And I know we run down the rabbit hole, so I'll try to condense it. A standard claim with the VA entails proving that you have your time in service, proving that you have a condition diagnosed, right? You can't self-diagnose. You should go to the doctor, get a diagnosis for your condition that's chronic in nature or has some sort of residual impacts to your life, an ongoing problem. The third thing is the nexus, that link between those two, your time in service and the condition. Now, the VA isn't specifically looking for, show me the military caused this. That's not really what they're saying. We tend to think that, but that's not what they're saying. What they're saying is, show me that your condition manifested during your time in service or is a result of your time in service in some way, shape, or fashion. Now, you have to provide evidence on all this stuff. And believe me, I get it. It gets hard sometimes because we didn't document anything when we were in. So then you're in this boat of manufacturing evidence and nexus letters and all that stuff, which we've done videos on that, and you can find 1,000 other videos online or read as well. The difference now between filing that type of a claim and a presumptive claim is the presumptive conditions for your specific time periods in which you served eliminate the need for a nexus. That last piece, you don't need to prove that your condition either manifested during your time in service or as a result of your time in service. The VA just concedes and says, you know what, if you served from here to here in this location, then if you have this condition, we're just going to give it to you. So you don't have to go through all the heartache of trying to prove anything about the condition being service connected, which is huge. This eliminates a huge burden off of us as the veteran community. And oh, by the way, Clay, not only if you're trying to file a claim for service connection, but also if you're a surviving spouse and your veteran who passed away had one of the presumptive conditions that either contributed to the cause of death or was the cause of death, that is the key to get you approved for dependency indemnity compensation. You would file a claim with all the same type of information, proving that the veteran served in X location during X time frame and was diagnosed with hypertension. They passed away from a heart attack. On the death certificate, it says death due to heart attack, contributing cause, hypertension. And now you get dependency indemnity compensation, which the base pay on that is about just shy of $1,700 per month and could go upwards of $3,000 or more per month from that benefit. So presumptives are a very, very important and near and dear to my heart, I guess, benefit for veterans and surviving spouses. Clay, I want to get your thoughts on that since I rambled for 5 minutes. Please shed some light for us.
Yeah, so you covered everything. What I would like to add are frequently asked questions around presumptives. So if you have sinusitis because you were in Afghanistan, that only pertains to service connection and has zero bearing on the percentage given. I think a very common misconception is, oh, they only gave me 10% because I was an Afghan. It's like, well, relax, you got 10% because of 38 CFR criteria. So you have presumptives, which are passed by legislation, like the PACT Act is a law. It's not a claim. It's just a law. Then you have conditions. Those conditions still follow the same 38 CFR criteria, just like everything else. So presumptive basis just means the nexus that isn't medical, it's presumptive in nature. I still like to use the big three when it comes to presumptives. The in service event, it kind of goes away, but it's replaced with, hey, I was in this country at this time. Got it. The current diagnosis is the most important thing needed for every single claim. You have to have the condition, it's got to be chronic. And then the nexus is no longer linking the condition to the in service event. The nexus is assumed by the VA. So that's presumptive. Another commonly asked question is, I was an Afghan, and I'm using Afghan as an example. There are many countries and different criteria that are time based, not location based, for various conditions. But I was in country X, and I have sinusitis. I submitted my claim and I was denied. And I'm willing to bet my life if you send me that decision letter, it's going to say you weren't diagnosed. And what veterans do often, and I never recommend this, is they have documented symptoms, but then they rely on the CMP examiner to give the diagnosis, which is totally possible. That can happen, but that assumes that your documented symptoms would lead the examiner to give the diagnosis in the first place. A CMP exam is a one-time visit. And from a medical professional perspective, and I'm not a medical professional, by the way, but they are reluctant to give a diagnosis based on a one-time visit. So you really want to go to your primary healthcare team, whether that's through the VA or through private insurance, whatever that looks like for you, to get that current diagnosis. And that's really what I want to push with presumptives is, one, the presumptive basis has zero input into your rating. So if you are 0%, look at 38 CFR criteria, and then submit that evidence-based increased claim. And then again, you need a current diagnosis. It's got to be chronic, right? So having a runny nose isn't rhinitis, right? That's just a runny nose. And now having built up polyps and you get a CT scan and you're on medication for sinusitis, that is chronic. Runny nose is runny nose. Sinusitis, rhinitis, bronchitis, asthma, all of that stuff are chronic conditions. And that's probably the question I'm asked most about presumptives, are those two things. So keep that in mind. And I guess the last thing I will add are presumptives are amazing. It is, in my opinion, the best thing the VA, and any administration has ever done was pass presumptive conditions. We look at the Vietnam era. No one gets shafted more than the Vietnam era. Okay, the PACT Act was backdated to August of 22 for Vietnam era related conditions. Imagine going 30, 40 years being stepped on and then finally getting passed, where my generation, post 9/11, it happened in 22. So we didn't have to deal with that. So it's definitely too little too late for Vietnam era. But at least we're heading in the right direction. Other than that, um, I guess let's go ahead and jump into which presumptives we're talking about, and we will clarify if they are location based, time based, and then we'll have all of these links in the description of this video because there's like 50 different links, that you'll have to find that pertain to you.